everyone. This is the second part of the Great Wave, and this is, again, crisis learning. Like, these boats are in crisis. Waves are crashing around, and that one message that this childish cartoon Modi and Dada had said, if you caught it in the midst of great chaos and turmoil, there is a source of strength, and that mountain is always the source of strength and consistency. It is always there. And Hokusai made about 36 prints that show each perspective of where he's looking, and the mountain is in the distance. And this is one of his most famous works, The Great Wave. And so it's about to swallow up some boats. And just like with our crisis learning, you can use whatever colors you want. If you have markers, if you have food dye for watercolors, that's fine too. You just add a lot of water and rinse out your brush. So I'm going to start with crayons, and I'm going to do the wave with cool colors. And I have purples and blues and greens. So I'm going to make the waves, and I'm going to color in each line a different color. And for the sky and the boats, we're going to do the opposite of those cool colors. And I like orange for this particular, or red-orange here. For this exercise, but you will also be able to do watercolors with markers. So what I mean by you're coloring in each part of that wave with a crayon and one particular color. Like, I'm going to start on the top here with this line and just color in the first line, and I'm going to leave it right here, maybe, I guess, or I'm going to leave this part white and then add a different color there right beside it. So I'm going to take each line here, and I'm going to color in the this area where I drew that curved line, and using the crayon. And again, it's like a little bit like a pattern. It's also random, but I didn't want to use the same color next to each other. And the same goes for the boat. The boat is going to be orange, just like the sky. I'm just going to color the whole thing, and then I'll go back with a marker or a crayon to make sure everybody knows what is what. So again, I'm going to color in this boat, all three boats. They're going to be an orange or a red-orange, or both, like I'm mixing here. This is the bow of the boat. And don't rush through these things. Don't rush through the pictures. This is something that you should not be able to finish in one day. All of these things, including your regular schoolwork, you should be able to put it down, think about it, walk away, do some jumping jacks, and come back feeling like you can conquer this, and you will. So I'm going to just the boats and the sky, that is going to be orange. If you happen to have paint or marker, you can use it as a watercolor too. So I'm going to also demonstrate how to use the markers. So again, I have blues, greens, purple for my markers. I have very limited palette. So I'm going to take some water here, from here, the water, and I'm going to add just some lines in the direction of the water, and I am going to add my lines for the wave, if you want. And I will just alternate if you want to go this route. Don't worry if it goes into the wave part, the caps, it's okay. So I'm gonna just finish that. Because we're gonna, with the marker or pen, you can add more colors to it. So it's just a random pattern of color. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And there's something else that you can do to make the picture interesting with the water is making the caps. So with the waves, you're going to leave the caps of the wave untouched, especially on top here. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of dots here. If it's added with water, not too much. And I'm leaving this area up here untouched. And you can also do it with the as a texture on your paper wherever the waves are. And also you can go back and darken in to make it a little bit more scary. Again, I just have very limited resources with drawing this wave. And also you need to let the paper dry before you go back and color in some more. I'm just putting just a little water down and try, just going over the lines that I drew with paper. And it may not look like anything now, but you'll pull everything together by adding a black line to your paper. So whatever you think is faster with making your paper, I don't suggest that you rush through this. Please don't rush through it. Have fun with it and take your time with your Mount Fuji and your wave. And as soon as this dries, which is going to be quite a few minutes, unless I go find a hairdryer, it'll take a little while longer, but I will continue to finish this for you just to show you a finished product. Okay, so when everything is dry, you can take a black marker or a Sharpie and you can go over the lines. And also you can use a black crayon too, over all the lines that you used for your pencil and or with your pencil. And you see I did a little oopsie, but I'm going to make it mine. That's the way. But you would go over every single line for just to bring up the the graphic wave to make it more look like a print that Hokusai made. It gives your paper, your drawing more definition. So it's not fading into just the color, the washes of color that you've made or with the crayon. So I'm just going to go over every single line with the marker. And you see I'm using the tip of this water marker and I'm not pressing down too hard. Very, very light. I'm not using the side of the marker. I just wanted a thin tip. You can also use your crayon as well to make the definition of the curves of your wave and the caps, and also the motion of the waves and the outline of the boat. You can also use a ballpoint pen if you have, but you can see how the lines in pencil starts to pop when you put a darker crayon to make sure that every line is prominent and part of the overall painting. So whichever, and do everything carefully and with purpose. It's not a race. And I did a lot of experimentation with this one. If we were in the classroom, we would either use watercolor or tempera paint. This is fine, what we're using now. But I look back at the ones that I did with the third year I was teaching. I did this and they looked great in tempera paint. So then I'm just going to go back and finish the caps of the waves. And if you want, you can always go back and recolor or put more lines down if you think you're finished. This has a lot of details to the work. A lot of random patterns, a lot of movement, a little bit of balance between the mountain and the wave. And the mountain is the source of strength and consistency. It doesn't move anywhere. It's always in its place. It's humans that move. You can see that after doing one painting, how prominent and how nice things look when they have a little bit of outline to them. then I'm going to put my name, like in Asian art. The characters go from top to bottom. And there you go. It's Hokusai's The Great Wave. And don't panic. It's pretty easy. It's a lot of work, but in the end, you'll be happy you did it and tried. Thank you very much, and look forward to our next drawing activity.